don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's GenXtra. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Sandra P's GenXtra. Welcome in, come in, take a seat, say good morning, click the like button, just use it like a doorbell. You clicked it? Okay, welcome. You are in. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's GenXtra with some Bravo TV, which includes Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and any other extras that we can find. I saw Dr. Heavenly over here has some information that is interesting to me. I hope it's interesting to you. So welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely Tuesday. And I hope you had a restful, happy, not too crazy Monday. And we do the same for Tuesday. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. Come in, take a seat. As always, I appreciate you. I am glad to have you here. And I will go through, start a few of the stories, and then we will discuss the stories. I will get down in the comments. We will all talk, and I'll make sure everyone's having a great morning. My sister, one of my moderators, my friend, was in early, so I don't know if she's still here. Mama 59 works. Team Throw Shade. I love it. Yes, that is my thumbnail that she's referring to. And let me see. There it is, Team Throw Shade. So I took a little quiz at BravoCon, and I was awarded Team Throw Shade. So that means that I'm behind the scenes. I don't have to be yelling in your face and cussing you out, but you will know that you have been shaded. So I accept that. Team Throw Shade. There are a lot of other Team Throw Shade participants at Sandra P's GenXtra. And then we got the rah-rahs over here too, which I love. They stand in their square. They cannot be moved from their square. They need receipts, proof, evidence, timelines, freaking everything before they will change what they think. But they're still open to receiving more information. And that is why I love the people that come over here. I see Ophelia Burkhalter, one of Sandra P's GenXtra's regulars. I'm so glad to see you down in the chat. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Everybody come in, take a seat. We are going to start. Dr. Heavenly's kind of a one-off, so I'm not, maybe I should start with her. Let's see. We'll start with Dr. Heavenly, and we might even go back.
Welcome back, everyone. Years into his second term as president.
All right. So Dr. Heavenly, Angela, hey, welcome in. This is my moderator. This is a friend, one of my travel buddies, a very hard worker. We don't get her in here a lot, so roll out the red carpet. That's the red carpet, Angela A. I'm so glad to see you in my live. I hope you're doing well, and I'm going to check on you person to person. I need to hear your voice and talk to you. Hey, Sandra P, mods, and chat. So I'm glad, yes, I'm glad to see you in the chat. I know you're busy, and then other things were going on as well. So I'm so glad you took the time to join me. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. So let's see. I think I will start with Dr. Heavenly. Let me see. Dr. Heavenly, as we all know, she is a Georgia resident. She is a dentist. She has her practice there, and Dr. Heavenly is running for office in Georgia. She is running for Congress. She also is, there are, I think, 2 other people running for her seat. One of the people, the incumbent, some of these people need to just usher themselves on out. He passed away about 2 weeks ago. So someone else now is running in his place. So Dr. Heavenly, and then there are 2 other people. So let me just get that up, and then we'll talk about that afterward. Let me see. Dr. Heavenly, I'm going to share this.
Welcome back, everyone.
Let me get to where she's at on here.
As president, Donald Trump is a familiar figure to Americans as the committee.
And I appreciate your patience, everybody, while we look. I actually have this up here. I just need to find it. All right, there we are. Thank you so much for your patience. We're going to find And I thought I had this queued up, but of course, now that I need it, I'm in a position of looking for it again. This is why I love it when production can come to work. But school will be out soon, and then thankfully I'll be able to have them more to help me. Nope, not able to. Why is that one not? Okay, one moment. Let me. Okay, this is not the video, but I can easily find Dr. Heavenly from here. Give me a few more moments of patience. Thank you, everyone. And if you're new, if you just came in, welcome in to Sandra P's GenXtra. Thank you so much for joining me. And what we're doing now is I'm queuing up a video of Dr. Heavenly and her run for office. As we know, Dr. Heavenly they featured that on the show. She actually got a campaign event. So I don't know how they got around that, because there was supposed to be extra time or something like that, or a fair equal time. But somehow Dr. Heavenly or Bravo, I'm not sure, NBC Universal, they were able to get around that, because she does have other opponents that are running. She has other opponents that are running as well. But I mean, she knows her stuff. I don't live in her district, so I've heard people say negative things about her and about the other people that are running. So I guess she has just as good a chance as anyone to get up there. Okay, there we are. Finally, let me find where she is on here. Okay, and then once I get that up, we'll double check the sound and everything.
He's a human being, because I've never been a billionaire. I've never had my own show where I got to fire anybody.
High costs are crushing Georgia's families.
That's Dr.
In
Heavenly's
Georgia,
voice.
dentist and married to medicine star Heavenly Kimes is in an uphill battle as a Democratic hopeful for the state's 13th congressional district.
I'm Dr. Heavenly Kimes, and I approve this message because we have to change things up, Georgia.
Why politics?
I see patients every day. They cannot afford
All right, let me
treatment.
stop that and just check in. Were we able to hear? That's Juju Chang, everybody. She's been on ABC News forever. Anyone that's still in the chat, were you able to hear that piece that was playing with Juju Chang and Dr. Heavenly? I should have my headphones on, then I would be able to tell whether or not you can hear. All right, I'll start again.
People cutting pills to try to make ends meet to get their medication. And I was like, you know what? I have a platform. I have a practice in every county in this district. I have a voice that should be heard, and I can do this better than many others. I said, why not?
Do you have a signature policy that you're going to Congress with?
My bill looks like a healthcare reboot system, meaning that the first thing we need to do is extend the Medicaid, because a lot of people don't know.
I was trying to expand that. It's not actually working. Okay, let me take that down, because I don't even know if that can be heard. But that is Dr. Heavenly Kimes, who is running in her district, and she was featured on ABC News at night. So that is a lot of big coverage for Dr. Heavenly. We'll see what happens. The tide may have turned a little bit on reality TV stars being in politics, unless they're qualified. But she absolutely seems read up on her issues. And then there are other people she's running within the district. Slam Pig, that is what I'll show that. That was from Real Housewives of Rhode Island, when she actually ended up calling her nemesis. So now we know Kelsey and also Rosie have never gotten along, and now it's going to be a lot worse, since she has ventured to call this lady a slam pig. If you have not watched the Real Housewives of Rhode Island review that I did, please go in and listen to that. And it was a pretty funny review. We had a good time because of the end of the episode. It was rated 10 out of 10 by a couple of people in the chat. And then probably the roughest grader, that teacher that you might learn the most from, Cece. She's one of the moderators. She gave it an 8.5, and that is very high praise from Cece. So we love to see that. Okay, let me see what else. We have Portia Williams, as we know, Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was over there with Carlos King, and Portia and Carlos, they had a pretty good talk. So I want to share what what Portia was talking to Carlos about. I'm sorry, that's not it. And let me know when you can hear it. Okay, I don't have.
Because that's how I am.
There's the sound.
Ask Candy. Ask anybody. Ask Sheree. If you do, I'm gonna text right away as I'm watching the show. And I said, hey, I just want you to know I'm watching
that from the beginning. This is Portia.
When I watched K. Michelle, her punishment was too hard for what she called the crime. I said, okay. I picked them up on that, text her. Because that's how I am. Ask Candy. Ask anybody. Ask Sheree. If you do, I'm gonna text right away as I'm watching the show. And I said, hey, I just want you to know I'm watching a show and I see that you still didn't feel, or you were still upset with, me speaking to you about the situation. I said, I want you to know I am sincere and that I never would have wanted to offend you about that. When I spoke with Shamia, she never told me any detail. You never told me anything of a detail of your bottom. I never would have done that. And I just want you to know from my heart, even though I saw her call me all them names, I was like, fuck all that. Let me make her as a woman understand that at the root of it, I never would have made fun of you. She said, okay, I truly appreciate that, etc. And, I appreciate you reiterating that you didn't know or blah, blah. So I said, okay, cool. Put the phone down. We were done. Oh, my God. The next day, she's tweeting saying, oh, well, what if you was to die? What is you doubling down? I was like, okay, I see what I'm dealing with. And listen, I don't want to go too hard on K. Michelle. I'll just say this. In general, as a person, in any space, you could be at work, they could be a family member, it could be a friend. If you are in any group and you are talking to somebody and they don't have a heart to understand you, they don't want to understand you, it could be for whatever reason, ratings or want to be right or just want to see you as wrong, they're never going to understand. They're never going to actually say out loud, oh, I understand, because they're too busy trying to do something else, whatever that else may be. So I said, okay, cool. So at this point, I know what else happens in the season. And although she's funny and she's adorable, I don't know how it's going to go over. I don't think that what was happening with her and Drew is going to go over as well as maybe she thinks it will. I don't. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think that when she looks back at this first season, she'll probably be like, oh, I probably chose the wrong team. And I probably should have gone about things in a more authentic way.
Okay, that is Portia, and there is a full video over on Carlos King's channel. Let me welcome Cece in. Thank you so much for dropping in during the live. Cece is a moderator, and she is here and diligent and dedicated, and I always appreciate your presence live in the chat. Cece, thank you so much. Welcome to at Sandra P's GenXtra. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to enjoy all the amazing content. Thank all of you. Thank you so much. And then Cece speaks to everyone in the chat, in the bushes, myself, Mama 59 Works, her fellow moderator, Ophelia Burkhalter, Angela A., her fellow moderator, and the rest of the chat. Thank you, Cece. You walked in on Portia, who was over at Carlos King's. Portia has her own YouTube channel, but she's kind of abandoned it. I follow her. I'm subscribed over there. Haven't seen her over there in a little while, but we know Carlos goes live and talks about the show, usually Monday nights. He had the thing that he does with his panelists, and then he sat down with Portia. Portia watches the show the way that we watch the show, and as we know, as longtime Bravo fans, when we're watching the show, that is different from how they experience it in the scene. So Portia says she called or texted K. Michelle at the time to let her know, this may not be going across the way you think it is. I don't know. I think K. Michelle is kind of has her heels dug in. I think it would be smart of her to take advice from a reality show veteran. K. Michelle's a reality show veteran as well, but it was a different type shows, plural, that she's been on. This is a new day. All that tweeting and stuff. If you've been over here, I have not been on Twitter since the South African boarded. And I don't appreciate being sent to Twitter to get more information because K. Michelle's over there tweeting or over there talking to Jason Lee rather than being on the show reacting in real time. We saw a couple of scenes where they were begging her, "Kay, what is it? Tell us what it is." Even Portia got down before her and said, tell me what it is. If I need to speak to someone, if it's me, tell me. And K. Michelle is not wanting to say what it is in the moment. And then later on, she's rah-rah about the same thing and leaving us context clues where we have to figure it out. I don't mind figuring things out. I am well able to figure it out, but you're getting paid, you're receiving a check to engage in the scene at the time. And I really would appreciate her and others doing that, or they're not going to be successful doing this. Welcome in, Linda Gamble. Thank you so much for joining me during the live. I appreciate it. She's saying good morning to myself and good morning to everyone that is in the chat, and they're responding back. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I was just playing Portia and Carlos because what is going on now with K. Michelle on Twitter and behind the scenes? I don't think that it's smart for her to conduct herself that way. I really want to see more from her on the show. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Let's see. We have Drew was on Threads. Let me bring up, I'll tell you a little bit about what Drew had to say over here on Threads. Let me share the screen there. And there's not going to be sound to this. What I'm going to actually do is share it so that you can see it, and then I can see it from here. I'll read it from here. So this is Drew Sidora. Drew Sidora is over here on Threads. And as we know, Drew is well able to defend herself. So she's talking about the episode. Tonight's episode, y'all finally get to see where the delusion started. From day one, this person has been creating issues that never really existed. And you were right. It was never about the music. So, of course, she's addressing K. Michelle. This is what's referred to as a sub. It's a sub thread. It's not a sub tweet because this is not Twitter, but she's subbing subliminal message to K. Michelle, who is a smart lady and well able to know that this is her. So she'll be firing back pretty soon, I'm sure. I'll just read a few comments under her. First one says, I'm with Drew for real, and the read that Drew isn't successful falls flat. That album last year was fire. She's consistently acting her A off in several projects. K on a high horse that ain't that high. Now, I won't take away from K. Michelle. K. Michelle is no slouch in her industry, the music industry. She's now expanded into country music, I think the past couple of records. But this is a great platform for her if she uses it correctly. If you've been here, you know I have Sandra P's season 1 Cloak of Immunity that I issued to new housewives. It's all over Rhode Island because that is a new show. But K. Michelle's wearing that cloak, even though I think she is misstepping all over the place. I think she can still repair, but I don't know if she's willing to do that because we know she is stubborn. She digs her heels in and she thinks she's right. So I don't know what to tell her. I feel a little sorry for what she's going through in all ways, mental, health-wise, and every other way, starting a new job before the world and things not going the way she thinks it should go. But again, she has a very short window where she can recalibrate. I'll see if she's able to do it. Thank you, Linda Gamble. I followed you on all platforms. I do as well, Linda, all the ones that I'm on. So that would be IG, Threads. I'm not on Facebook too much. Let me take that. I don't think I'm over there. And Angela A is saying good morning to Linda Gamble. Angela A has come in, Linda Gamble and CC. So we're so glad to see her in the chat. CC, thank you for saying that there were 4 likes and 4 in the live. So thank you. I love it when y'all make it match. Anyone that is in the bushes, if you come in, please go ahead and click the like button. And let me see if I can find any of these K. Michelle tweets over on Reddit. I'm probably going to have to break down and get my Twitter back. So this is something I'll probably end up having to do. Now, I found it on Reddit, but it doesn't really, it only shows the first 2. I don't mind sharing those. Let me see. Let me show you the first 2 that I found from there. Again, this is what K. Michelle, she's bringing it to Twitter. I want to know if Andy Cohen is going to eventually find this lady because, as you know, he fired Robin, even though Robin's back. The main reason she was fired is because she was sharing things over on her podcast that she has with the other Green Eye Bandit, Giselle. And she was telling the audience, she literally told us, kiss my A, about her and Juan's wedding. So now she's back. She was sat down, now she's back. So here is Portia responding to K. Michelle. I'll read K. Michelle's first so that you'll know what Portia responded to. K. Michelle gave what's called a subliminal tweet. She didn't name anybody. She says, don't sit and my face and play like you don't know what I'm talking about. You want a reaction, you can have it. Say it to my face or be a quiet coward. So that's K. Michelle during the show, I believe. Here's Portia Williams. Who is a coward? I would define a coward as a person tweeting from the same house 2 doors down from me. Next time, let's do our job and bring it to my front door, real time. That's how it's done in our HOA. So again, Portia's trying to put her up on game again, letting her know tweeting is cute, that's fine, but you're 2 doors down. You got your Twitter fingers going, you're all upset, and the person you want to address is 2 doors down. This is not how Portia and the Real Housewives of Atlanta are supposed to get down, K. Michelle. I don't think it's wrong for Portia to tell her exactly what it is and how it should be. That doesn't make sense to me, y'all. Linda Gamble says, K. Michelle needs to stay off reality TV. Dr. Ish told her she was very delusional on Marriage Boot Camp reality stars. Thank you, Linda Gamble. When I mentioned that K. Michelle was on plural different reality shows, so now this is Real Housewives of Atlanta. Those of us that know of her. I know of her from her music. Of course, R. Kelly is her mentor, and he did a lot of writing for her. She did a lot of writing with him. They toured together in the early days. I've seen her live. I watched her go through all the different changes. K. Michelle's very talented, but she doesn't seem to have reached the level of maturity yet. Linda Gamble is alluding to all these reality shows, naming a couple. So we had Love and Hip Hop. That is a place where a lot of people gained careers and blew up in careers, and then some of them kind of reestablished themselves. And K. Michelle got a bigger audience on Love and Hip Hop, I believe, but also got a reputation that wasn't the greatest. Some of the fights that she would have, threw a lit candle at Rashida, and they were arguing back and forth. Verbal sparring, which is what we want to see over here on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's not willing to engage in that. Very little. She did this past Sunday, but until then, she wasn't really able to or willing to engage in that. So we had Love and Hip Hop, where she's trying to get away from that reputation. And that was years ago, over a decade or more. So she's in her mid-40s now, and she's, as she would tell us, a married woman. She should not still be conducting herself the way that she was in her late 20s. None of us should. You're supposed to grow. So Love and Hip Hop. Linda Gamble named the reality star, Love and Marriage reality stars. Also, now she's on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was on Queen's Court. She was dating Dr. Kaz at the time, and now it's questionable. All of these are my opinion, everybody. If I share anything, it's under the Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107. So it will be utilized for fair use, teaching, criticism, education. So fair use is how I'm using some of these clips, and I'll be stopping them as I go through. But K. Michelle was on a dating show, Queen's Court. I don't know who she walked away with. I didn't watch that season, but she married Dr. Kaz, but she was over on an interview with Jason Lee, and she was giving some behind the scenes. She was alluding to dating a very prominent NBA coach that used to play in the league. I don't know if K. Michelle knows, but that narrows it down to almost like 1, if not 2. So K. Michelle, if that person doesn't step up, the internet sleuths have been digging. We don't know who it is or if K. Michelle's even telling the truth. So this is not a good look for her, everybody. It's just not. I'm going to welcome some more people that have come in. I see my friends in here. Basically a behind the scenes secret co-host, American Born. So we are always in touch, and I get a lot of good information. I appreciate you. Thank you. Good morning, it's Sandra P's GenXtra. Good morning to you, American Born too. Thank you for joining me in the extras. She encouraged me, said I really like the extras, and she does provide a lot of extras and then comes to discuss it. So thank you. And those of you who are visiting, I'd like you to subscribe. Come in, join us, and you'll see us a couple times a week, just talking stuff about these Bravo celebrities. CC, the moderator, says, K. Michelle is acting like a big old baby and punk at the same time. CC, I'm so surprised that she's doing this. I never would have thought that K. Michelle would be down bad like this at episode 7 or 8 in the season. I know she has more in her. I think she's overthinking it. I like her for her. I want her to do that. I don't want her to try to maneuver and see how she can be HBIC. Can't happen. There are already multiple HBICs on Real Housewives of Atlanta. The whole group of OGs, everybody that was sitting there on Cynthia's bed, and then Angela as an honorary. This lady's in her sophomore season. She rolling with the big dogs. And the person that picked the teams, the alliances, was Shamia, who is friend of for years and years and years, not even friend of, but friend. Hey, best friend, that's her tagline. She was on Watch What Happens Live and somebody called in with a question, FaceTimed in, and she said, hey, best friend. And then he started talking to Rosie was sitting with her. And she was like, hello, best friend. Tried to get his attention back on her. And then he finally asked her a question. So I don't know. I like Shamia, but Shamia is not someone I would follow anywhere. Shamia is a follower herself. And that's not going to be a good look for Kelly, for K. Michelle, and for Pinky. Pinky Cole, as she likes to tell us, is a boss. She has her own mind. She's wearing Sandra P's cloak of immunity, her and K. Michelle, even though I think both have really misstepped. Like Cece said, the way she's come in, kind of like a big baby and maybe a punk. And I'm a little shocked at that for her. She knows better than this. Linda Gamble says, K. Michelle thinks she's still on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, New York, and Hollywood. Yeah, the way she's acting, this is not what we're used to here. Yeah, in addition to that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, she hip-hopped among different franchises within that group. And then also she had her own reality show. And I think her tagline is something like, I'm not used to being in a group. I'm the #1 main girl in charge. Not over here, K. Michelle. This is an ensemble cast, and you have to be able to roll with it. Everyone's speaking to each other and American Born. I had high hopes for her after the first 2 episodes. Yes, if you have not been here, American Born is a supporter of K. Michelle, likes her. I'm a supporter. I like her as well. I'm just a little disappointed. I don't know what's going on here. I can't imagine that work environment, but I'll treat it like any other work environment. You get your first, 90 days, first 6 months. I'm not one of those people going, get out of here. Queen's Court, thank you. And then they're supposed to find men for her to date. This guy she married, Dr. Kaz, the dentist, he's been in her life since they were in, I guess she says maybe middle school. So he's always been waiting in the wings. She went back and got him after she wasn't able to get a person of her status or caliber that she thinks she would be entitled to. And we're getting to some more why she got so offended at Portia last night. And there's all these other things. K. Michelle drags her past with her. I mean, we all do, but she does it like a bag lady, like Erykah Badu's bag lady. You got to let some of that go at some point if you're going to be successful. Cece says, I was introduced to K. Michelle via Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So for her music career, bona fides, I had no knowledge of her before her shaking the table time. Yeah, that's where a lot of people came to know her. And she is still, to this day, Cece, I'm surprised, she's still shocked that she's not as well known as she feels like she should be. And we could tell because she did that scene trying to drag Phaedra a little bit. I was so surprised that the white women knew Phaedra. They do. Phaedra's been and Honey Child in a long time. We've talked about Phaedra's ability to move from a White House to the crack house. We've watched her accepting cash in the parking lot from her clients, defending Bobby Brown. Cece told me she was over in Africa with Jane Fonda. Yes, Ted Turner. Rest in peace, Ted Turner's Jane Fonda. Hollywood legacy, Henry Fonda's daughter, Jane Fonda. So you might look up and see Phaedra anywhere. Phaedra was on pause for 7 years because of what she did, that lie her and Portia told. Person they lied on is not back on Bravo. The 2 people that lied are back on Bravo. So there's a whole big universe going on, like behind the scenes. NBC Universal, literally. Traitors, did excellent job on Traitors. Put Traitors on the map. I think instrumental in Traitors becoming more well-known and getting an Emmy. Now, of course, they already have their UK version, but that one is not as popular to me, or it hadn't been, as the American version of Traitors, because they started putting the celebrities on it here, and Bravo celebrities, and we could be familiar with them, and it brought a lot of fans that didn't watch the show but would tune in for a Phaedra. So yeah, K. Michelle, the white ladies know Phaedra, and that's the audience you want. You're in country music, so we'll just speak clearly. I welcome all and everybody. My sisters from another mister, you know who you are. My sisters from another mister. I know that all kinds of different people love and watch Bravo, and that's why I get on them and drag them when they sometimes treat the franchises differently. They're not equal. I don't love that. But yeah, Phaedra has her white fans, K. Michelle, and you being on this show, you can be exposed to that too. I don't see the need for her to be firmly in a alliance, especially with this group. And we saw Portia say she may have picked the wrong team. So I think she'll find that out before the season is over. And again, Cece says she only met her through Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Good morning, Toot Latrice. Toot came in and said, good morning. She's waving at us and we are waving back. It is good to see you in the live, Toot. Thank you for joining us. Everybody saying good morning, speaking back to Toot Latrice. Here's my friend Andre Shannon, another connoisseur of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So as he knows, I put my Sandra P's cloak of immunity over the newbies, whether I think they are right or wrong. Oh, and I told y'all, Shamia got left back, y'all. She had the first season cloak of immunity, but her season 16 was so disastrous, I've decided to let her wear it again. And y'all, she's still messing up. But beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. Welcome in, Andre Shannon. Andre says, K. Michelle's new to Bravo, NBC Universal, and True Entertainment. She has signed to three different contracts. Andre Shannon, she has better get up to speed and quickly, because she's losing the Bravo audience. And as we know, the Bravo audience is very powerful, because we get somebody, Linda Gamble said, I follow Drew on all different platforms. Andy and those guys, they watch that. These executives, they know that the Bravo audience is everywhere. That's how these ladies get brand deals. I saw a Glade commercial from Candace. We have Ashley, who's our new little baby. She was over there on Bachelor. Now she's on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. She was taking her family on a Royal Caribbean cruise and has never cruised before. So she got a brand deal. They got their little fingers in everything. And this could be so beneficial to K. Michelle. But if she gonna sit around and pout and be mad and then try to jump up, though she never really got out of her seat. She couldn't really get up. Chicago Drew got up, and I don't blame her, because you don't sit there and wait for somebody to buck up on you. American Born is laughing. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, I know you windmill for K. Michelle, but you are fair, and you can call it when even a favorite or someone we like is not doing the right thing. Linda Gamble is welcoming in Andre Shannon and saying good morning. Everyone is welcoming in Toot Latrice and still saying good morning. I agree, Sandra P. K needs to just calm down. Yes, American Born. I think that's a big part of it. And again, my heart goes out to what they're going through, but that is what they sign up for. You don't sign up to be abused, but you do sign up for a little bit of. Britt said that in her contract, it was like, you're going to go through verbal sparring. People are going to be provocative. They were saying all kinds of stuff that you might go through. So that lawsuit that Britt Eady has, we don't know how successful that's going to be. I'm hoping they settle with the lady, because I think that will kind of smooth the track for Kenya maybe to eventually come back. But now Kenya is going to be on a break for a while, because she has that new Amazon show that's coming out with a lot of the Bravo celebrities from different franchises. So I'm going to cover that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure when it starts, but I'll be here with that. Thank you, Cece. Cece lets me know there's 5 likes and 9 in the live. Please like the live, everyone. Please do that. It keeps a young and growing channel in the algorithm. I appreciate that so much. And it keeps me with the people that are right along my same track. So y'all know YouTube considers, if you're under 100,000, they consider them a small creator too. So you get 3 hypes a week. And if you feel like someone should receive that hype, I would love it. I would love it. So I would love the hype. And then also there's a lot of great smaller YouTube out here on the YouTube streets. And I said, we're going to probably venture down to Skid Row, because it got a little nasty in some of those conversations, but grown women, grown men conversation, we can handle it. And Linda is welcoming Andre Shannon from Central Texas. Yes. So this was a really good trip, Linda, in that they were down in Texas for what? 3 days. So the lovely Cynthia Bailey rented, well, that estate that was rented out on however many acres. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. American Born is saying that K. Michelle should have stuck with Portia. Yeah, and I feel like Portia is still reaching out an olive branch. When she was on Carlos, she said, even though she called me all those names, I texted her. So I do like the way that Portia is trying to be welcoming and letting her know, wrong road, wrong road. But K. Michelle is going to have to humble herself a little bit. We'll see if she has it in her. Andre Shannon saying, I met Nene Leakes when I was 23 years old, and now I'm 40 years old. So look how long they've been in our lives, Andre Shannon. That's almost 2 decades. And Andrew Cohen himself calls Bravo the house that Nene Leakes built. So yeah, they can go back and forth, but make no mistake, he's still in touch. And then we're going to see her on Ultimate Girls Road Trip. So we'll see her a little bit, and she's saying how excited she is to be, she's dipping that pinky toe back because she had a lawsuit out there as well. And I didn't see anything wrong with it other than the fact that if you sue your employer, you may not be able to return. But I think they're greasing the wheels for something to happen. I want to see it. American Born says, yes, that's the only way to be. We have to call our favorites out. Yeah, American Born, we don't want them to get to a place where they can do no wrong, because you got people that can't stand Teresa Giudice to this day and will never call that lady wrong. And you have to. That's how her head got so big. Teresa, she went to jail and still can't see anything that she ever does wrong. And I'm like, Teresa, wake it up. You have to be called out. And I will admit, I still like Teresa. When I see her on Next Gen NYC, I see the old Teresa, dumb as a box of rocks, funny, overprotective of Gia. And I can see why Gia gets on people's nerves, because Gia had to take care of that house, her sisters, because her dad and mom were in jail. So I am interested to see what they come back with in New Jersey. And then, of course, Next Gen NYC, y'all, we're going to cover that right here. That's coming back. Shamia needs to worry about her marriage. Her husband on his way to a divorce lawyer. Linda Gamble, I hate to see it, but I can't deny it. I see the cracks. Some of the people drag fake boyfriends to Texas for that event. And guess who wasn't there? Mr. Gerald. And he has businesses in Dallas. I wish he could have spent that night to come there and support her. Gerald kind of sick of it. He's sick of nannies and mother-in-laws and these people with the kids. He wants a wife at home. And I don't think Shamia wants to be a wife at home. She's a real housewife, but she's not a housewife in that sense anymore. And I don't think Gerald is going to allow that. So I don't know. I hate to see these marriages break up on TV, but it wouldn't shock me, Linda. Mama 59 Works, my sister, my friend, was in here early, and now she is back saying good morning to everyone. So thank you so much for dropping in the chat and saying good morning. American Born is speaking back. Linda says, hype the video. Yes, Team Replay. Team Replay, that's a feature that you get if you're rewatching the video. It's near like. So hype the video, and I would appreciate that so well if you would do that. I'd appreciate that so much. All right, let me go through and see what else I have. We covered Portia. We covered Drew. We talked extensively about K. Michelle. So we'll get a little bit more into K. Michelle, what she is so angry about, and put a 1 in the chat as soon as you can hear. And of course, this originated, some of this came through with the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is so problematic. All right, I want to put this in Chrome. When I put in Chrome, then I'm actually able to play the sound as well. Let me make sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate it. Let's see. Nothing's playing yet. Let me see if this will make a sound.
That little is some petty from a woman. Petty. And you said, I feel like it was something that was mentioned on there. Okay, you already talked to him about it. Why are you talking about it again? I never did. You talked to him about it last time he was here. I wasn't there. Well, if you're going to be a journalist, you need to remember your statement and how you did. I wasn't there. Oh, I wasn't there when they was there with Uncle Murder. Okay, well, this is still your team, so you should watch it.
Right. So you ever forgive Angela Yee?
No. A little petty.
Okay.
About my, and if it smell like a Glade candle or a fish market or not, that little is some petty from a woman. Petty. And you said, I feel like it was something that was mentioned on there. Okay, you already talked to him about it. Why are you talking about it again? I never did. You talked to him about it last time he was here. I wasn't there. Well, if you're going to be a journalist, you need to remember your statement and how you did. I wasn't there. Oh, I wasn't there when they was there with Uncle Murder. Okay, well, this still your team, so you should watch it.
Right. So you ever forgive Angela Yee?
No. A little petty about my...
And here's what bothers me about this whole thing. Let me close that, and then I'll play the rest of it, and I'll go back to the comments. That's K. Michelle getting on Angela Yee over there at the Breakfast Club. That's years ago. Somebody was able to come on that radio station where K. Michelle has been there, showcasing her records, publicity has been there for her, and speak under this woman's clothes and alluding to a not so fresh from her lady parts. Yeah, that was allowed to go on the Breakfast Club. I cannot stand Charlemagne. Don't like Envy. He's a fraud too. And Angela Yee, she finally had to leave because of the way they treat women over there. But that's K. Michelle getting on Angela Yee about it. K. Michelle, I'm sorry, K. Michelle, she brought this to Real Housewives of Atlanta. When Cynthia ordered the oysters and then Portia goes through smelling them, and this one is okay. That's a clean for JJ. This one might have a scent. K. Michelle was looking at her just like this and wondering what she was going to do. And a lot of the audience of Real Housewives of Atlanta, some of them may not have known that this is this whole back thing that was going on. Do I think Portia would do that? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't put a lot past Portia. I'll take her at her word. She's saying that's not what she was doing. But I'm disappointed that Kay would bring this before the Bravo audience. And now she's in country music. She's trying to get a whole new audience. This is the wrong road. People don't want to hear this. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. That's the old Breakfast Club interview. But I think it's partially K. Michelle's fault that that's back before us. Let me go back to the other comments, y'all, and then I'll come back and address these, and we'll keep talking. Let's see. All right, here is CC. It's still on K. Michelle. K. Michelle needs to realize she's dealing with a different type of ladies. Phaedra was off RHOA for years and still maintained her home and lifestyle. This is not the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta crew. Exactly, CC. Phaedra was in exile, basically. 7 years. We didn't get to see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she knows that reality TV and all these different things are her space. And we saw her in earlier years. She has her mortician's license. Phaedra still works with Willie Watkins Funeral Home, the largest funeral home in that surrounding area. So, and she always keeps her connections clean and keeps staying friends with the people, whether they're on the show or not. Phaedra's very neutral. Mom 59 Work says, like, share, and comment. Show my girl that love you always do. Yes, they always do, and I appreciate it. Thank you. American Born is co-signing CC. I am too. She said, exactly, CC. Yeah, exactly. Andre Shannon, how was meeting Nene? I've heard different things. Yeah, Andre, elaborate a little more to us. Some people feel like she's mean to her fans, but Nene she doesn't want people like flying up while she's eating and stuff. I can understand that. But people do criticize her over that. I've seen many celebrities. I don't run up to them when they're eating and stuff. I just acknowledge them, or I'll give them like, yeah, I see you, that sort of thing. And they appreciate that. They look right back. Andre Shannon, I never imagined myself actually met the original cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta at an event. These ladies are very nice. So yeah, he said he met Nene at 23 and now he's 40. American Born says Teresa's one of my faves, but I can call her out for sure. Keep doing it, American Born. She needs it. Some of those Teresa Giudice fans, they will slice and dice if you say a word about her. And Teresa can be terrible. Cece says Shamia needs to sit her arse down and pay attention to her marriage. I think she misses the streets. If he leaves, she'll see the grass is not greener out there. Cece, all that twerking and stuff that she was doing in her 20s, it hits a lot different in her mid-40s, a married mother of 2 children. It looks kind of embarrassing and a little bit desperate. And I like Shamia, but I can admit that is not the road I want to see her going down. Andre Shannon says, I was a college student at Clark Atlanta University. I met Nene at the bookstore by Piedmont Park. Oh, that sounds so exciting, Andre Shannon. That's another thing I love about Atlanta. You could run into anybody because the celebs are out and about. Barnes and Nobles. Andre says Barnes and Nobles. American Born says, I hate that men talk about women that way. It's disgusting. American Born, I'm shocked that a woman would sit there and allow a man to do that. I don't care who the man is. I don't even care if it's a gay man. To me, that doesn't give them license to do it either. Like when Carlos King was saying about Sweet Tea, she should put eggs on her vision board, and Dr. Heavenly sitting up there allowing it. No, I looked at her differently from then on. And there's no way they should be able to speak about a fresh scent or not so fresh scent, or as Kay Michelle would say, whether it smelled like a Glade candle or, she said, a fish market there. Now she's saying sardines, but she really shouldn't be putting that out there for people to now talk about. This is 8 or 10 years ago. Mama 59 Works says Charlamagne is messy to me. Always have been. He's terrible, Mama 59 Works. And then if you start talk about roofing people and this kind of thing, which admittedly he says he did that to his wife. He's now married to the woman. I don't know why people let this fool slide. American Born says, does anyone know if Portia meant it that way? American Born, Portia is so experienced and slick, even though, as Cynthia said one time, people think you stupid and dumb. You ain't that stupid and dumb. So we will never be able to prove if Portia meant it that way. We wouldn't, because on the Sprinter on the way there, Kelly was talking about Portia's Frito, cheddar cheese, whatever, poo nanny. So these ladies are always talking under each other's clothes. Now, Kay Michelle having that background, do we know if Portia remembered that somebody had talked about her and she's still sensitive to it? She had a lawsuit. She sued someone over there. I think she sued Mano. I can't remember. Kay Michelle literally sued someone over that, which that really puts it out there bigger, because now you got these Shade Room and all these places covering the lawsuit. Let me read Cece's comment. You have to smell the cat to make sure they don't. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. And sometimes, Cece, I cannot see these emojis. Let me go down because I want to look up close to it and make sure I'm looking at it. Because one time, I think it was last week, Portia was saying, Nana's hot dogs and waffles. I couldn't see that the emoji was a hot dog. And so I kind of messed up what the meaning was. So let me look at this. Let's see. You have to smell it to make sure they don't. Make sure they don't. Yeah, doesn't stink. Yeah, that you'd have to. And then you're covering your mouth laughing. Yeah, that is funny. But that is not a man's place at all. Not at all. American Born's laughing. Phaedra keeps a job. Yeah, that's Phaedra keep a job. Parks, American Born. She stays out here and she keeps her connections where she can always return. I think that's great. Sarah Hill, thank you so much for joining us during this live of extras. We are right now talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Kay Michelle and her missteps, and Portia and how Portia's playing the game. Portia's playing the game like a veteran. This is like Michael Jordan being up against a rookie and the rookie thinking they know everything. Not good at all. Everyone's speaking to Shara Hill and she is speaking back to everyone. Linda Gamble is speaking, my niece, yes, and speaking to Cece. Thank you. Hi, welcome in, Shara Hill. Like, comment, share, engage. Yes, thank you. Thanks so much for coming in. And Linda says, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is on pause now. Bo, Sutton, Erica, and Amanda are on the chopping block. I'm glad to hear it, Linda Gamble. They didn't bring a lot. I didn't even cover it at all. I talked about it in extras if there was something that was interesting to me. I was disappointed in Bo's. I was disappointed in her last season, how she came in. I think she overstepped. She thought she was liked a lot more than she is. And I think the way she kind of tried to pick at Amanda, I don't care for Amanda. I think she's kind of a butthole. But when someone's ganged up on, I start changing my view of them and I get into like protection mode. So I think toward the end of the season, Amanda kind of changed the audience around. Even Andy Cohen, I think, liked Amanda better than Bose by the time the end was there. AB says, that makes me happy. They need to be on pause. I agree with you, American Born. I feel like those ladies are just, at that point, they were stealing their check. That's just too much. They don't get to do that. All right, let me go down, cover any new comments. And then, oysters and a skunk. Okay. I love it. Now, Real Housewives of Rhode Island, are they cut? They're holding pearls We know oysters can make pearls. Now, Portia, by the reunion, she may have another line, say, well, I was looking to see if there was any pearls in there. I'm feeling lucky. Portia will lie straight to your face. And when she starts smiling, you kind of want to believe it. But I'm probably 60% leaning toward Portia might have meant some shade, because K. Michelle caught it immediately. And then Drew had a stupid look on her face, too. So I don't know. Linda Gamble says, yes, they say Kyle is safe. Of course, if Potomac went on a pause, Giselle would be safe. So there's certain people that just did not going anywhere. Oh my goodness, we're getting skunks in the chat. Oh Lord, hilarious, says CC. Mom 59 works. It is funny. But Kay is so upset about it. I love this piece over here. Thank you, Shara Hill. Even when we disagree, nobody's going too crazy. So nobody's gonna hunt you out and try to cuss you out. So I love the piece over here too. I love my subscribers and the people that visit us. Thank you. Cece, I found your skunk emoji in the chat. That is so funny. Everybody's laughing at the little skunk emoji. K. Michelle, you should start, drop a little song, something you could do in there. I don't know. Because when she came to breakfast, y'all, I don't know why they went to get her. She immediately brought the mood down. Like, they were like, good morning. It's like, oh God. This is too much. K. Michelle brought it on herself. No one was thinking about her. No, Linda Gamble, and I don't think it would have came up. I really don't. American Born's laughing too. So I don't know. I'll show the second part of that, and honestly, I probably won't cover too much of that over here. It's kind of like uncomfortable, and I don't know why she would put this back out there. There's a whole new audience now talking about this that didn't know before. Oh, this being that, I don't really play with them. I might have to stop start.
That vagina is clean. This one might be a little tense. That vagina is clean.
All right, there we go.
Odd to me. What are you checking for?
Okay, we'll go back. This is
What
dinner.
is you doing? What are you checking for? Okay, Portia, don't let me checking it. Your face ain't right. That vagina is clean. This one might be a little tense. That vagina is clean.
This is odd to me. What are you checking for? Does she always know oysters? Oh no.
I'll play you first. What are you checking for? What is you doing? What are you checking for? Okay, Portia, don't let
did
me
y'all
check
see
it.
where K.
Your face ain't right. That vagina is clean.
Trying to close
This
it,
one might
everybody.
be a
Sorry
little
about
tense.
that. Did y'all see where K. Michelle caught it? I wonder why she didn't address it at the time. And it put Portia on the spot right then. I don't understand that. That's a big part of it, Shara Hill. K. Michelle is sensitive. Sensitivity, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. It could be your superpower because it does make you empathetic to people. I'm a sensitive person. It makes you empathetic to people. It can also make you a target. People also know they can poke you and that you will feel it, and they can change the whole trajectory of your day. And you shouldn't let people have that kind of power over you. Now, K. Michelle, something that she was sensitive about, Portia was able to trigger her. And now it's a conversation that nobody was having until she let it come back up. Kay should let that go and leave it alone. If I were her, American Born, I would too. I hope she can. Because now that people know that she's sensitive about that, even now, it's going to be a point of contention. They'll use that to poke her. I think they were messing with Kay. She should not have verbalized the insult, though. She gave it life and introduced it to people who didn't know the backstory. She's coming off like a rookie. Yeah, and the thing is, she is a reality TV vet, but she is a rookie over here on this show. This show is unlike many others. It really is. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, now let's switch over to the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Our girls over there. We had Joellen. Joellen went to a podcast, which is called the Gossip Girls Podcast. So let me pull her up. This is off of Instagram, so I should be able to play that okay with no problem. All right, there's no sound yet, but I'm pulling it up.
in the show.
Girlfriend.
No, I don't, I don't know, because sometimes, she's tagging Bravo, and I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And I've said that to her. I'm like, what, we're not close friends, but we're acquaintances. I think that she was just told a complete lie, shown divorce papers, given a ring. He met her entire family. There's a lot to it. And
Given a ring? She really is the girlfriend. Like, she's not the mistress.
They're in love. This is 2.5 years. I don't care anymore. It's her problem. I'm done. You figure it out. Hire a private detective. I did that for you for free. You're welcome.
Okay, two judgy girls, everybody. That is the beautiful big mouth Joellen from Rhode Island. They're having a bang up season 1. I love it. So two judgy girls. They got a full interview over there. And Joellen is claiming that she's out of it. How many think she's out of it? I don't. I think she's going to keep talking about Rula and her marriage. She's a dog with a bone that bothers Rula, and Joellen's not going to leave it alone. I'll believe it when I see it. Mama 59 Works, thank you so much for my $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting me and the channel. Thank you. Thank you. RHOA is the only Real Housewives that I really like, to be honest. They used to crack me up. Yes, Mama 59 Works, and they are back kind of in their heyday. And a lot of it, to me, has to do with the OGs or the veterans that they have over there. Cynthia Bailey is a friend of, and she's carrying the show on her back. So I'm proud of what Portia Williams is doing this season. I didn't know what she was going to bring. And then Phaedra really is stealing her check, but she steps in with an assist when needed. So I appreciate her for that. Linda Gamble tells Mama 59 Works, thank you for supporting the channel, and give some hearts. Yes, thank you. She says, always welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. American Born says, it is interesting that Brian had given her a ring and met her whole family. Yeah, American Born, Brian he doesn't care about Rula's feelings. And Rula seemed to be one of these wives who have dug her heels in, is like, this is my husband and I'm not going anywhere. I'm fighting for my marriage. But if he's not fighting for it, okay, I don't know what can be done about it. I don't know. It's going to play out during this season. I'll be happy to see them during the reunion and see if he shows up with her. I'd be wary of that mistress. That mistress is actually, to me, obsessed with Rula. She shows up at places that Rula are. She's been in Rula's home. Rula shot a scene with Joellen. The mistress had a picture of herself in the restaurant where Rula had shot the scene. So that lady is, she could be a real danger. I have a problem with her. And Brian's opening up his wife and family into some crazy stuff, in my opinion. We'll see. But Joellen claims she's out of it. She said, I did the detective work and you're welcome. So I don't know. We'll see. And let me see. There was one more thing I wanted to share from Reddit. Reddit, I'm not on a lot, so I have to figure out how to maneuver around there, because they had some good information on Dino by the seawall. So let me see where what that was. And it looked like it was pretty recent too. Okay, here it is. Let me see. And this might be an old story. We know some of this was old, but I'll go ahead and show it, and then you tell me what you think of it. There's no sound, but I'll show it to you. It says Dino faces life in prison after he's charged with dealing, have a Coke and a smile. Okay, figure that out. That is Dino, looking pretty ominous. Dino's a good-looking man. Dino's a good-looking man. And next to him is his best friend, Liz, down by the water, by the seawall with Dino. There's another picture of Dino that looks pretty old. So this is interesting, everybody. I guess this case is still going on. And then they're just talking about it on Reddit. So we'll see. I don't know. Let me see if there's any more information on that. It's just people commenting. Reddit is a big gossip forum. It's kind of like Threads. So I find that really interesting. And I don't know why these people that have all these checkered past love coming on reality TV and let the sleuths come in and dig up stuff about their lives. I think it's crazy. I really do. Move Rula to Love and Marriage Huntsville since she wants to play dumb. American Born, that's where the dummies are. She can get over there with Tisha. American Born is laughing. Because Tisha, honey, she hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil of her husband. Marceau can go to Colombia and everywhere else, and Tisha don't know nothing about it. Stop talking about my marriage. I can't even watch her. I still watch the reviews, but I really don't mess with Tisha and Marceau and them on that level. It's just too much. All right, let me see if there is anything else. All right, we already covered K. Michelle. We covered Real Housewives of Atlanta. Covered Drew on Threads. Cynthia has the Humble Brag podcast with Crystal.
That's right, but I would have been like, because I remember.
Let me see. I think she talked a little bit about how she felt with them kind of trying to mess up her trip, sabotage her trip. Cheryl Hill agreed. Thank you. All right, let's see. I'll play a little bit of it because I don't know if they strike or not. Let's see.
Tahoe, my first past trip, I was fighting with Sutton and I didn't come to the dinner because I just couldn't deal with everyone. And then I think it was Erica who was like on the side, like, you got to show up to all, like, we're all here. I don't care what happened. Like, we're on a cast event. You show up to every event. I was like, okay. And I think she did it genuinely to help me and help the show. Like, I never missed a thing. Yeah. Never again. But I don't know if those girls had someone saying that to them. I mean, Erica was someone who's like, she's very big sister personality. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I was really, I couldn't do it. And she's like, what do you mean you can't do it? Yeah. I mean, get up and go to dinner. Yeah. I'm like, okay. And then I got up and like after dinner was over, and I went and, I started filming again. But I remember just always, like, I always show up. Yeah. Always. Yeah, me too. I think in hindsight, like when I think about it, obviously it would have been, I mean, that dinner could have even been more explosive had everybody actually been there because, there were 3 players versus 3, that didn't even get a chance to chime in because they were missing all of the things. You know what I'm saying? So, but as you can see, the dinner worked out fine. Pinky and Angela held it down. No, you didn't need them at all. It made the show. Yes. You're welcome.
Okay, Cynthia, that's Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey. And she is a friend of, believe it or not, I keep reminding everybody because other people are stealing their check. And Cynthia comes to work. She clocks in. This was her cast trip, the first one, even though it's domestic. She took everybody down to Dallas with her connections. They were in a private jet or a PJ, as they say in the Bravo lexicon. She's doing her podcast with Crystal Minkoff, who's formerly of Beverly Hills. That Erica she's talking about is the Ice Queen or White Chocolate. Erica, who I didn't know would give another housewife advice, but she is telling Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and the little one, come to dinner, show up. As we know, K. Michelle didn't have glam and kind of boycotted the dinner, even though we saw her later after it popped off between Pinky and Angela. Also, Shamia and Kelly were pouting about their dirty room, which the room needed a brush up and a freshen up, new linens and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't dirty. Kelly referred to it as filthy at one point. So I like the fact that Cynthia asked them, are you trying to sabotage my trip? But then they were shown to not be needed at the dinner. You don't want to show Bravo that when you got 11 housewives and then a couple that are still not back on the show that fans are clamoring for. And we need to free up some of these salary cap, like you're in a sports league. So that's not smart of them at all. It's crazy. Mom 59 Work says what it is. They do it for the camera. So how are you not at dinner? That is a big scene. That was crazy. And then talking about oysters, Shamia and Kelly, you see what Shamia traveled in, that little short tail skirt, and Kelly was in something funky, and they didn't bathe after they flew cross country from Atlanta to Dallas. And then here you come at dinner in the travel clothes. I was Cynthia. I would have told them, can y'all please not stand over us? Just go ahead and go back to the pool house. Merkenborn says they had Camille Grammer on. It was a really good interview. I have to watch that. When we went to Malibu, some of the ladies that went to dinner got a chance to meet Camille Grammer. I didn't because I didn't go to dinner with them that night. It was benefit to me because someone at the house that did not go as well, I was able to bond with her. There was some other things going on. But yeah, a lot of ladies met Camille Grammer and raved over her. They said she was so beautiful and fun and nice. And since we were in Malibu looks a certain way. And she saw these beautiful Black ladies and made a beeline and told them, y'all look so beautiful, and started talking to them and literally They didn't approach her. She approached them. So I find that really cool. I'll have to watch that, American Born. Thank you. I'm going to get that episode and watch it. Linda Gamble says, I got 5 on it. K. Michelle may not return next season. Linda Gamble. Portia, those of you that were not in here, I played some of Portia's interview with Carlos. And she said she may realize at the end of this first season that she chose the wrong team. But Portia didn't give a yay or nay as to any speculation whether or not K. Michelle would be back. But I really hope that Portia, I don't know, encourages her to come back. I think K. Michelle could be a worthy opponent, even if she's a villain. But I don't know. I think she doesn't like the audience talking about her. But if you're going to be on reality TV, we're going to talk about you. It's okay. If you can't take it, I don't know what to tell you. Cynthia popping her collar. Cece, isn't she? Cynthia has been that girl. We talk about Phaedra and all her connections and all these people that she knows. Cynthia Bailey is another one. To be in a tequila deal with Adrian Malouf, that family has so many different businesses. I remember when they owned the whole sports team. They owned the Sacramento Kings. When Chris Webber played for them and they went to the finals, they ended up losing. But yeah, that family, those connections are invaluable. That's why I did not like Kelly and Shamia harping on the room for that long. And you see, when they were on the way to the gala, the lady called them, the homeowner called them, wanting to know, is everything okay? This, that, and the other. They kept checking on Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia had a police escort in Texas. Y'all saw those motorcycle cops in the rain, guiding her and her party to that other mansion. So I'm really proud of Cynthia and where she's come from. Linda Gamble, Andy Cohen gave Cynthia Bailey her peach back. Yeah, I see that. If she wants it, she got it. Right now, it's up to her to say yes or no. I think she likes the friend of space, but they said the money is so much better as a, of course, full-time peach. But Cynthia's been in every episode. Drew has missed a full episode. So Drew, I know you had a headache. Take an ibuprofen and come on, because there are those of us that really enjoy seeing Drew. Is Drew an actress? Yes. Does she sometimes lie? Yes. Do I like looking at Drew on my screen? Yes, I do. I like Camille on Beverly Hills. She would give them heck when they were fronting. She sure would. I think the reason she's not back over there right now, CC, is Kyle. Kyle is a hater. And Camille was calling out Kyle from back in the day. She really was. She said, Kyle said to her, why are you going if Kelsey's not there? And I know Kyle said it. She was married to Kelsey Grammer at the time, and Kyle lied. And she got mad at Kim because Kim is her sister, but Kim wouldn't lie for her. You should have had my back. But Kyle never has anybody's back. But now Linda is saying that they're on pause, and I don't mind. Ruler reminds me of Tisha Scott. Yeah, Linda Gamble, the way she moves, like your husband is right in front of your face, disrespecting you to the point other people are madder at him than you are. And then you reach a point where you just got to take your hands off them and let them decide to do what they're going to do. AB says, me too, Linda Gamble. Yeah, if she lived in Huntsville, her and Tisha would get along really well. Shara Hill says, exactly. Cece says, Cynthia is doing what Nene could have done as a friend of and worked her way back to full time. But she has that pride and hubris ruling her. Yeah, Cece, they say pride goeth before a fall, and it absolutely does. There's no way Nene should have been off our screens this long, lawsuit or not. Because a lot of what she was saying, set aside the racist stuff, a lot of it was personal toward Andy Cohen. And he's a high-level executive, but he doesn't have the power alone to keep anybody off that show. If the numbers say it, Nene could still come back, and they are kind of thawing the ice. So we'll see what happens. I like that Camille called Dorit out all the time. American Born, as she should. Dorito is such a fake to me. I didn't mind her this season because now that she wasn't a part of what's left of the Fox Force 5, now she wants to call Kyle out. But when she was able to ice people out with Kyle, she was okay with it. But now she's a victim. She don't like it. American Born says, I don't think Cynthia wants to be full-time again. She's still acting. Yeah, Cynthia has her freedom, honey. She got Lake Bailey when she wants to be on the East Coast. She has many, many friends in Beverly Hills. She could even take a diamond out there if she wanted to as friend of. Cynthia can do anything. Cynthia visited down in Cabo at the Love Hotel. Remember Luann and them had a friend or family come in? I look up here, Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey at dinner in Cabo. So Cynthia is another one that is like Phaedra and Portia. She is well liked by NBC Universal. She can do anything. So everyone, I actually went through this whole list of what I had for the extras, And I want to thank everyone. We're a little over an hour, but thank you so much for joining Sandra P's GenXtra on Tuesday. And American Born says, yes, I love that Cynthia can move around. You got to be free to move about the cabin. You can't dig your heels in and feud with everybody. And K. Michelle, she's so angry now. I'm curious to see if Linda says 5 on it. Season 1 and done. And I hate a 1 season wonder. I don't want that for her. My cloak of immunity couldn't save Angel Massey over there at Potomac. But I hope it saves K. Michelle and Pinky. Because I do like the fact, you hear Cynthia say, Pinky and Angela, they weren't needed. Pinky and Angela came to dinner and they set the scene. And guess what? The other 3 came down from that pool and came up there. So I do like that Pinky's willing to work. She's gotten on my nerves, though, and she gets on my nerves. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you, American Born, because you do inspire a lot of these extras, and I appreciate it. As well as others in the chat, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the YouTube streets. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I